following is a presentation of CNN Sports Illustrated.
And from the fast track, a drag of a story that will pique your interest. It has for the men involved in drag racing, who are finding that women just aren't content riding shotgun anymore. We're going to take a time out, but straight ahead on this edition of Page One, we will shift gears for a story about fast women. Hey, wait a minute, we mean that in a good way. The ladies are making an impact on the drag racing circuit, one of the few sports where women compete on a level playing field against men.
I think that the women beat you just like a man. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's a female or male or young girl or older girl.
Well, used to be the best place to watch drag racing. It was one of those 50s movies where the pretty girl in the poodle dress was waiting to hug the winner. But today, drag racing is serious business. Last year, the average attendance for an NHRA race was 100,000 people. And that girl in the poodle dress, well, she is now in the driver's seat. Here's Bob Pasella with the story.
The number of women's professional sports leagues has grown by leaps and bounds in recent years. The WNBA and ABL each give women the opportunity to play pro basketball in the United States. Softball success in the 1996 Summer Olympics helped spawn the Women's Professional Fast Pitch League. And on the heels of the USA hockey team's gold medal performance at the Olympics, a women's hockey league is in the works. However, there are few sports where women compete against men. In horse racing, women jockeys guide thoroughbreds versus their male counterparts. A handful of women IndyCar drivers have raced against men. And recently, another sport is becoming a playground for the battle of the sexes.
As far as being a woman, there's no difference. The car doesn't know if I'm a girl or a boy, and I like that.
Drag racer Shelly Anderson is a former high school cheerleader and is the quickest and fastest female driver in history, having reached 317 miles an hour in just over 4 seconds. But she's not the only woman behind the wheel. 346 women are currently certified to race in the NHRA, and the number of female drivers is growing by about 10% a year.
I think it's going to do nothing but help the sport, grow the sport, and I see more and more young ladies getting involved in the sport.
Oh, it's really cool to beat the guys and the girls too. I mean, if you're going out here, every driver out here has the same respect for all the other drivers. Anyone who gets in these cars, you know, we all have respect for. So, I mean, once you put on your helmet, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, young or old. I mean, you're just a driver. And, you know, if you go out here and beat someone, that obviously means you've done something, you've accomplished something, and you've worked really hard at it. So it really feels good to win.
18-year-old Cristen Powell is billed as the world's quickest and fastest teenager, having cracked 307 miles an hour. She's also the second youngest winner in the history of the Top Fuel Division Drag Racing's fastest series. Like many other female drivers, she became involved in the sport through her family.
My dad raced when he was younger, and then he kind of got me into it. He came to the races and I would go and watch, and once I got my learner's permit for the street, I wanted to try racing.
I grew up in it. My dad's a 3-time world champion. He's also an engineer. He makes a lot of the miscellaneous parts on my car, my brother's car, and the people we race against cars, so it's all in the family.
She's done it since she was in diapers. I mean, she's always been to races, so it's not a big deal to us.
Racing may be in their blood, but both drivers are quick to credit the woman who demolished the gender barrier in drag racing. 3-time NHRA world champion Shirley Cha-Cha Muldowney.
Shirley Muldowney was the first. She made it easy to be second, third, fourth, fifth. It doesn't matter after you're number one, and she was. She made corporations realize women can be successful against men, heads up. And I think, in a part, she's the reason I have my sponsors, because she was so successful.
If she hadn't have done that, if all the women that have done this over the years hadn't have been there, I probably wouldn't be have come as far as I have today.
Both Powell and Anderson have become mainstays on the Top Fuel circuit and have 5 career wins between them. And while 99% of all drag racers are male, women are becoming an accepted part of the game.
I don't like getting beat at all, but, you know, it doesn't really matter to me if it's a woman or not. I mean, they take their toll on all of us just like, you know, any other driver. So I don't really consider a woman or a man. It's another driver in the other lane.
When I go up there and I'm racing a car, that's when I'm racing. I'm racing that car, not that person.
Not a battle of the sexes, but a battle of skill on an even yet very explosive playing field. Bob Fusella, CNN Sports Illustrated.
Well, after just 2 top fuel events in 1998, both ladies have yet to crack the top 10 in the point standings. However, Shelly Anderson and Cristen Powell finished 10th and 14th, respectively, in last year's final point standings.